Hey Scout family, not just paranormal things in my life, but I've also had a lot of lights in the sky, things I couldn't really work out. And I never really thought at the time much about it. Planes, whatever. Question of extraterrestrials never really came into my mind. And it didn't at that age. Now and then you'd see reports on the news about something strange somebody saw, and you think, are they taking this seriously? But then they'd always end the article with a little joke about little green men and poo-poo the whole thing. Just recently we've had government whistleblowers and governments acknowledging and even releasing the odd dubious grainy photo, as we see here, that they're investigating this and they need to know what's going on. So you think, okay, this could be good. But then they'll put people like this guy, Nick Pope, at the forefront of things. And he will poo-poo the whole thing again. He will play the whole topic with sleight of hand. He'll send you one way, they'll send you another. There's many like him. And it takes you right back to the little green men, the ha. And then the only thing you're left with is him again. I'm going to tell you about an experience that happened to me that involved an hour and a half of missing time, quite a close encounter with a craft. And I'm going to really talk to you straight from my heart, because hand on heart, I respect all of you. I will never sell out and I will never lie to you. And I'm going to talk to you face to face. I'm not going to use clips. So here's what I've got to say. Tell me what you think happened. Hey Scout family. So, why am I talking about UFOs? Well, whether I want to acknowledge it or not just the paranormal things, but some otherworldly things have happened in my life. Things I can't deny. Things that happened that when I was always sober of mind, not under the influence of alcohol, drugs, anything. And the reason I'm going to start with this particular story is because I believe it adds substance to the other things I'm going to confess to you. Not tonight, not now, but it may just get your juices flowing. And like I said, add some credibility to what is to come. So, the year was about 1994. And I would have been 25, young still. And I was living in a town that would take me 20 minutes to go from one end to the other to where my best friend lived at the time. Now it was summertime. That type of summer where it doesn't get dark until even 10 o'clock. It's, there's still light there. And I had planned to leave my residence and walk down to my friend's house, and it was then that we were going to start our little party. So I wasn't under the influence of alcohol, anything. And I left my residence, and the journey to my friends would take me through a park and onto a railway bridge that allowed me to look straight down the high street, which was about a mile long. And the journey itself, I did this journey every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day. 20 minutes tops, okay, but a steady walk. So I reached the railway bridge and I'm looking down at the high street, and ahead of me, about a 45-degree angle where my finger is there, was the most amazing, beautiful, coloured star I'd ever seen, ever. Even trying to describe the colour to you now, it was unearthly, halogen sort of blue, and it was the brightest thing in the sky, and it had my attention completely. I was in a trance. I was walking forward, looking at this thing, and in hindsight I don't remember thinking about anything. just the beauty of this light in front of me. And I continued down maybe about half a mile when I noticed that this light, this star, what I thought was a star, was slowly moving towards me. Now, at the time, I had stopped. There was some shops to my left and right, takeaway shops, crap like that were normally very busy at that time of night. And this was only in hindsight that I remember this. But there was nobody, there was no one, not a car, not a bird, not a person, nobody. And I was watching this light, and it was coming closer and closer, still at about 45 degrees. And I stopped. I remember I stopped outside some fried chicken shop, something. And I was looking up at this light. And just as it was literally directly above me, it stopped. And what I must have taken to only be 10 seconds, maybe, not even that, this light stopped above me. And all I could make out, there was a light at the front of this object, and there was enough of the light to illuminate a curved silver aluminium sort of coloured shape. I couldn't see anything else. And I'm watching this thing, and all of a sudden, where the light was at the front of this thing, this light projected a beam forward. And imagine like you've got a glass of water and you pour milk into that water, and the way it sort of swirls round and mixes in. The beam had that sort of effect. And this beam shot forward out of this craft, this thing, object. And in a split second, this object followed itself into the beam it had projected. It was gone. Whoom. Now, I remember the second that happened, it was like there was a gust of wind. I remember a newspaper blowing across the road. But still, now in hindsight, there was nobody, not a car, not a vehicle, not a bird, not a sound. And I thought, well, that was fucking weird. And I continued on my journey. It seemed like 10 seconds had stopped. So I reach my friend's residence, and I'm expecting maybe 25 minutes to have passed. So I left my original place, departure, at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. I'm expecting it to be 10:20, 10:30 at the latest. And I get into my friend's road, the road where all my I used to live on that road, where all the paranormal stuff happened. And I noticed that my friend's house is in darkness. Everything seems all shut up. I knock on the door quite innocently, and there's no answer. And I knock again, and his mother puts her head out of her bedroom window, floor above, and says, "What the hell are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I've come to see," I'm not going to mention his name, he knows who he is. And she said, "Okay, that's fine, but it's just gone midnight." I said, "No, it can't be. I left my house at 10 o'clock. I haven't stopped walking apart from maybe 15 seconds. She said, "No, it's midnight. It's gone midnight." And that left me scratching my head. I lost an hour and Christ knows how much, an hour and a half. And after that first experience, things started sort of ramping up. I'm telling you now, folks, hand on heart, that happened to me. I wasn't under the influence of anything, and it's taking so much courage to tell this story. But I want to tell it because all this bullshit, that governments, you know, they're coming out with all these programs now on Blaze and all the Giorgio Tsoukalos and Nick Pope and all these fucking alien people, yeah, that they're just playing with you. They know it's real, but they're not trying to tell you it's real now. What they're trying to do is distract you from something else that's going on. They're not trying to ramp you up for a fake alien invasion, any of that bullshit. That's out of their control. If an extraterrestrial race wants to come, they're going to come. No one's going to fucking stop them. They're sleighting hand with you, and they're just making you distracted onto another topic because there's something else going on. Something that's never nice with these people. But I hope that this initial story gives you some substance and credibility to some of the further experiences I'm going to tell you. Family, I love you. Check your 6, scout your 12. Good night.